You have 30 minutes to loot this place and pay your debts before the planet is destroyed. Intense stealth action with permadeath, an exploration of agency and hope. Welcome to episode 11 of the 5 T's of Stealth, where we will be discussing Under a Star Long Cold. Once again, the 5 T's include tasks, terrain, tools, threats, and tension. These are what I consider to be the fundamentals of stealth gaming. At the beginning of Under a Star Long Cold, there is a quick text box before the game truly begins. I think it more or less perfectly explains what I usually consider to be the task section. Please allow me to read it for you now. They are after me. I don't have much time left. If only I could get the $50,000 I owe. Dazit says there are rumors of a barren planet, Under a Star Long Cold, that is going to be reset soon. Maybe I could loot it. Maybe the settlers don't know what's coming. Maybe if I am fast enough, I can make it out before the reset. But I'm not leaving unless I can steal $50,000. If I can't, I am dead anyway. One last chance to make it right. If that doesn't perfectly explain it, I don't know what else to tell you. You have 30 minutes to make 50 bands. Good luck. The barren planet you will be traversing lives up to that descriptor well. The game is set on an open world with a variety of points of interest, but calling them that may be a bit of a stretch, as every point of interest is very similar. The map is littered with outposts of varying sizes, but all with the same look, aside from a couple details here or there, but these details have no impact on the gameplay. You never enter any buildings, and the whole game takes place outdoors, which makes all the outposts feel pretty pointless. There is one area of the map with a giant skeleton, but it's just for aesthetics from what I can tell. What I consider to be the best location on the map is an area with countless statues, not much taller than your character, aligned in parallel rows, making for a unique and enjoyable area to traverse. All in all, Under a Star Long Cold provides an open world sandbox to be explored. However, it really feels like an empty sandbox with plenty of areas that are desolate dead ends and large distances between each major outpost or location. Your nameless character is no slouch, and you have a decent amount of tools at your disposal. Let's start with the arsenal. At the start of each run, you have a blaster, and you will find more guns as you eliminate your enemies. There seem to only be 4 guns, including your blaster. The others are a silence blaster, a pulse gun, and the repeater. Shooting honestly doesn't feel great, and most of the time it feels like your bullets don't line up with your crosshair. And no, I'm not just talking about the bloom. If you sneak up behind an enemy and point your gun at them, they will drop their weapon and put their hands up. This action will give you $50, and then once you perform a stealth takedown, you gain another 100. You do not have to hold an enemy at gunpoint to get the stealth takedown, but you always should for that extra cash. Another option available is simple hand-to-hand combat. You have a 3-hit combo that can be used to knock over enemies before allowing for a takedown. Once an enemy is eliminated, you can teleport their body. No idea where it goes, but hey, at least it's gone. General movement in this game genuinely feels great. You have a handful of options such as sprint, crouch, dodge roll, slow walk, crawl, and even the ability to take cover or lean against walls. When you lean against walls, you can knock on them to draw an enemy's attention. Aside from your deadly options, you also have a scanner which can be used to mark enemies. Your character has 2 bars in the bottom corner, a health bar and an energy bar. As long as you have energy, you can choose to heal yourself, and it seems to be a plus 25 health every time. No energy, no heals. You do have a chance to find crystals around the map, which will refill your energy when activated. While not exactly an ability, I think this is still the best place to mention it. It will occasionally rain in-game, and this will dampen the sound of your movement, so be sure to take advantage of the weather. The biggest threat in Under a Star Long Cold is the 30-minute timer. When time runs out, you're done and have to start all over. If you die at any point, you will also have to restart your run, as this game features permadeath. There appears to only be one type of basic enemy, albeit with 2 variations: helmet or no helmet. The helmet has no effect on takedowns, but will protect the head from 1 bullet. Enemies don't have a great detection range and seem to be pretty dumb. I would say the only exception to this is when they've been alerted and are actively hunting you down. It feels like they would just start flicking on me. Like if they had seen me and I peeked my head around, they would do a full 180 and start blasting all over again. Enemies have a question mark over their heads when they hear or see something, but it rarely led to them actually locking onto you. I would purposely run near enemies to make them curious and then sneak behind for the free kill and cash. Enemies have an exclamation point over their head once they're actually locked on. Another threat would simply be finding the money. There are big stashes in some locations, but also random spawns around the map. Good luck finding the yellow bean for the big payout. Under a Star Long Cold is a bit of a weird one when it comes to tension and difficulty. At first it seems to ebb and flow as you are forced to move quickly, but are often running through areas with no danger. The timer adds a permanent tension, more so than most games that use one, until you learn a simple fact. You're never going to hit the 50k. The tension fades and a sense of despair takes over until it is replaced by a lack of interest. I'm not 100% certain, but from what I can tell from my playtime and from doing some research, there is no way to actually get the 50k. You are simply doomed. It really makes sense when you add in the fact that the start game button does not say start game, but rather lose hope. There is no hope on this barren planet, only despair. All of this leaves Under a Star Long Cold in a very complicated position. Conceptually, this is a very cool game. Drop onto a planet doomed for destruction, sneak your way through it, and bail with the valuables. I'm still enamored by this game on paper. In actuality, the whole experience seems to fall a bit short. Controlling your character feels incredible, but the terrain and the threats make it a much less enjoyable experience than it could have been. Running around an empty planet and only stopping to kill some brain-dead enemies doesn't exactly provide a high-intensity gameplay loop. I would love to see this concept improved upon. For starters, it might be nice to actually beat the game. I understand this is a thematic decision, but personally, once I realized I couldn't actually succeed, I started to lose interest in the full loop and simply focus on the stealth sandbox while ignoring the coin. Even that was temporary, as I eventually just no longer had it in me to keep repeating the same process. It almost began to feel akin to Sneak Out, which I discussed in episode 7. Too much repetition can ruin any experience. Another idea would be to perhaps extend the timer and add more complex objectives within the planet or level or whatever. In my opinion, it would be pretty damn cool to have to drop down, solve some sort of puzzle while dodging enemies in order to get the highest quality loot. With all my complaints in mind, I would still recommend Under a Star Long Cold, which is an incredible name, by the way. Just be aware of what you're getting yourself into, as it's not going to be a long experience, and quite frankly, it might not be so satisfying. I did enjoy my time here, and I look forward to trying more games by this developer, whose name I'm sure I will butcher, Antonio Freire.